Hi, everyone. We have made it. This is our final step, and I am here to speak with you about the persuasive speech on sacrifice. Um, Sacrifice. When you hear it, what do you think? Are you scared? Are you worried? Are you proud? Are you feeling alone? How how are you feeling when you hear the word sacrifice? I know on a personal level for me, sacrifices have been huge in my life. They have broke friendships. They have broken promises. They have interrupted certain festivities or activities or something that friends and family have put together that I've had to sacrifice from going to in order to accomplish something else or to, fulfill a need elsewhere. But I also feel like the sacrifices that I have made are who who I am today and have molded me into what I have become today, which is a mom, a wife, you know, and still being a daughter and a granddaughter and a niece and a cousin and a best friend and all of the above. So I feel though that the sacrifices that I have made have been reasons for accomplishment. I feel like if I wouldn't have made some sacrifices, then I wouldn't have accomplished so much of my life of what I have today. So when you hear the word sacrifice, why does it scare you? Do you feel alone? Do you feel like you are sacrificing that something isn't good enough? Do you feel that you might sacrifice something and it not have the outcome or the goal that you wanted to achieve? Why do you stop and think about the sacrifice? If we know that we have to do something and we have maybe something planned on the same day, how do we choose what to sacrifice? And by what we choose, is that why you have to stop and think, or is that why it scares you? Or we could look at it as on a positive sacrifice. When the sacrifice is made and you see the outcome or the goal that you've reached, is that what makes you feel proud about a sacrifice? So, first off, the scaring. Like I said, are you afraid of the outcome? Are you afraid whose feelings might get hurt? Is it because of who's maybe involved of the event that you have to sacrifice or the family function that you have to sacrifice? Because you have a sick kid or you have a doctor's appointment or there's an emergency somewhere. Um, when we sacrifice, we have to temporarily give something up, whether it's a ball game, a dance, a movie, a cookout, dinner at a friend's house, um, a family get together. We have so many different things that we sacrifice and we don't realize it. So, with that being said, um, why do we have to go into the second step of a sacrifice when we have to do some serious thinking and serious um, pondering on whether or not the sacrifice is going to be worth missing that birthday party or baby shower or football game or, dance class or whatever the case may be of the reason of why we have to make that sacrifice. I know that the sacrifices that I have made, my family and I have struggled financially because the sacrifices of me not going back to work immediately after the pandemic or even during the pandemic we didn't have the money to go and do extra activities. So everybody would invite us. So, hey, we're going to the movies, or hey, we're going to dinner, or hey, let's go do this, or hey, let's go to this fair or this function, and it all usually come down to costing money, and we would have to sacrifice and say, oh, well, we're really not able to, or we have something else going on, and we would just make an excuse or a sacrifice of not going because the money wasn't fit for us to go. Um, so therefore, that was a sacrifice that we made. Yes, we knew that we were going to financially struggle when I didn't go back to work right away during the pandemic. But it was a sacrifice that we made as a family, and it gave us more time at home to be with the family. So, third of all, I mentioned earlier about sacrifices helping us reach certain goals or certain outcomes, or figuring out kind of what's more important in life when we sacrifice. Um, we sacrifice so much without even realizing it, that I feel like me not going back to work, yes, was a financial struggle and a sacrifice that we made, but I also got to go back to school during the pandemic, and I was able to come back for my bachelor's degree, which is sacrificing now time that I could be going and doing other stuff or finding a full-time job, or, helping benefit my family and stuff more. But a sacrifice is I decided to go back to school, so working part-time and still having to sacrifice some of those extra activities and things still led me to I'm going to finish with a bachelor's degree. So it's important in life to make the sacrifices that are benefiting you or your family. So just to sum things up, I told you how sacrifices have molded me into the person I am today. I have achieved so many different accomplishments. I focused on why we might be scared, why we might have to stop and think before we sacrifice, and why we would feel proud and accomplished in the sacrifices that we made. Hopefully, everybody walks away from this today with knowing that they're not the only ones making sacrifices, and that we all make sacrifices in our lives, and we feel proud of making those sacrifices to where they've been today. Thank you guys. It's been a great semester, and I wish you all the best of luck.